You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. So, for the, second or third time in my entire time doing this show since January 4th, 2021, I don't know how I'm going to end what I'm saying. I know I got to change chairs. I guess, you know what? Hang on. Let's just do this now. And that way I won't be interrupted with all the squeaking and the moving and then I'd have to blame DZ, and then it wouldn't be DZ's fault and all that stuff. Got it? Good. All right. So I have a question. I think it's a loaded question. Does merit have a place in today's society? I mean, we already have things like nepotism, where we hire family members and then we tell people that are qualified that we can't hire them. And then they say, well, why not? Well, we got this, we got to hire people, civil rights. And we have all these other things that we say are the reasons why we can't hire you. We got to hire Black people. It's diversity. And when in fact, they're just hiring their cousins and their brothers and their sisters. Nepotism is in full effect, right? So we hear that. Kind of perpetuates this thing we have in our brain about getting jobs and racism. But does merit really have a place in today's society? I would like to think it does. But I don't think it does. I've watched on too many occasions people that did things got in trouble because the person that's perceiving it didn't fit their values, their rules, their ways of doing things. I was reading a paper about process and how a person thought that we need to get rid of older people because they're not open to new processes. And I said, well, it's not that older people are not open to new processes, that it's unproven. So you should test it first before you think you're going to come up with something new, and recognize there's nothing new under the sun. Coming up with a different way for the sake of having a different way because it's your way doesn't make it better. And if it's unproven, then what do we do? And this person said that they hated to hear because that's the way we've always done it. And I explained that's their way out of being too lazy to explain to you exactly why what you're saying and that you want to do won't work. It won't work because this is a tried and true method and it has served every single time. When we have to change it, you have to come up with something, in essence, as we say in law enforcement, that's court defensible. But merit implies that a person is responsible for their success and their failure. And we know in America that's not true. We know in America that success can come based on someone else's perception of you, which has absolutely nothing to do with merit. And the person in charge, the person making the choices, making the hiring, making the promotions, paying the bonuses, is using their own perception as to whether or not you're doing something that's meritorious. But has anybody put a pin in merit? Like, what does that even mean? If I'm actually held responsible for my success and my failure, then my pay that you pay me should only be paid when I'm successful. And when I fail, I shouldn't get paid. That's merit. But what it doesn't take into account are the policies and the economic structure in America that places Black people at a significant disadvantage. And everybody says Black people can get things today. You can do things that are great today. You can come through and get jobs and make money and invest and become a millionaire and a billionaire. And that's true. The problem is it should be significantly easier. And when you're set up 246 years in arrears, that's a problem. When the information doesn't make its way to the children and the grandchildren. When we're stuck on literacy, when we should be teaching fluency, that's a problem. And so when we don't account for policies and economic structures that have been in place that have put us at a significant advantage, we're 246 years behind the curve and we lose. I would like to just put in hard work and get more pay. I would like to get work commensurate pay, commensurate to the work I do, period. If I get X amount done, I get paid X amount. Not hours worked. If I decide to work a 12-hour day, I work a 12-hour day. But when it comes to merit, I think it comes down to perception. Does it look like you're doing a great job? When I've watched in hiring where we didn't hire somebody because they weren't the right denomination, when we didn't hire somebody because they weren't the right ethnicity, when in the end, it had nothing to do with the person. It's whether the person doing the hiring felt comfortable. How's that on me that you're uncomfortable around Black people? How's it on me that when I walk in Starbucks and I go to reach for one of those, stoppers that you put in your cup so it won't spill when you travel, and the woman turns, looks at me, and literally walks across the room out of fear? How do you change that? How do you fix other people? Well, you can't. And that's why I don't want you deciding what's merit for me. For me, it's the equivalent of asking somebody or telling someone after they ask you a question, hey, that was a good question. Really? I know it was good. Like my work. I said it.
Is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new